everybody, welcome to a new episode of The Crazy German. It's not so crazy to talk about the first album from the American band Metallica. It's called Kill 'Em All, and it's really interesting when you really think about several things, because we are so used to that album. It's released, I think, in '83. I was 12 years old then, and I even didn't have any hair around my penis when I look back. And yeah, here it is, Kill 'Em All from Metallica. First of all, the name of the band is a really interesting story. It was when the teenagers, James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich, they talked about the cars from their parents, and both of them had these wooden doors. You remember in the 70s, the American cars with the wooden doors? And Lars Ulrich, he was just coming from Denmark at that point, saying, "Oh, I don't like these wooden cars." And Hetfield was saying, "Yeah, I like Metallica's more." And this was the name of the start, the idea behind the name of the band Metallica. It is basically a car made of metal, and they wrote it a little different, and yeah, this is very interesting. And the cover is also cool, because they thought, oh, we play so heavy and not really perfect, so people get headaches. And what is the best way to treat people with headaches? Yeah, that's exactly what you see here on the cover. Also, Kill 'Em All is a really weird title. I know that you in America or in England, you are used to this apostrophe and then M. At first thought, when I was a kid, that M is a girlfriend of one of those guys, so kill M all, which means everybody should kill M. And I don't know, this poor girl M, what did she do? Why is she treated so bad? But it was wrong. The album is called Kill Them All. But Lars Ulrich just came from Denmark. You know, he was a tennis star and stuff like this, and started playing drums, hanging around with James Hetfield, his friend and brother in metal. And he came up with the title Kill Them All, and Ulrich had a problem with the TH, you know, we Germans have that too. We really have a big problem with that. By the way, the cat is looking at us. Hello. Hello. And so Lars Ulrich said, "Oh yeah, Kill Them All is great." And Lars said, "Okay, we can't do that." He's giving so many interviews, and when he pronounces our first album wrong, we might get in trouble. So they named it Kill 'Em All, though there is no TH for Lars Ulrich. And I remember he was saying, "Yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome that my bandmates thought about me like this," and another cat. And it's so cool. It's so cool. That's what he was saying, yeah. Yeah, and there are several songs on that album. The album opens up with Hit the Lights. This is not a very interesting story. They had a band member, you can't remember this guy. He was very tall, and he always knocks his head on the lights on stage. And this is just a song about this guy, because he hit the light all the time. More interesting is the next one, The Four Horsemen. Yeah, these guys were teenagers, and they thought they would be the coolest and best guys in the world. They wanted to get all the girls in the audience, so they started saying, "We have penises like horses, and so we call ourselves the Four Horsemen." And yeah, you can imagine Hetfield walking around, "Oh, my penis is too big for my pants," and Ulrich saying, "Oh yeah, that's awesome, I have the same problem, it nearly doesn't fit into my underwear." Awesome. And this is a song about these guys themselves, the Four Horsemen, which means four teenagers with big penises, which is not true, but the girls believed it, and yeah, they had a lot of fun on stage. Motor Breath is a very interesting story. This is about a guy who works with cars and repairing cars. I don't know the correct word for the job doing this. A car repairer? I have no clue, I'm a German. But yeah, this is a guy, they know, he often visits them in the rehearsal room. And at one point, he was swallowing some oil. And since then he has this smell when it comes out of his mouth like, God damn, you smell like a car. And Ulrich's like, oh, that's awesome, you really have motor breath. And this is why they have this title. Jump in the Fire is just an homage to a bathing song, a song about swimming with friends, but in Germany. In Germany, a little sea next to a city where the people go and swim on the weekend is a Weiher. That's what you need to know. Weiher. W-E-I-H-E-R. Weiher. And this is just jump in the wire, which means jump into the water in Germany, have some fun, and everything is cool. Okay, anesthesia pulling teeth means they already knew that there will be a pop singer called Anastasia one day. She just played in Germany a few days ago here. And what nobody knows, before she became a famous singer, she was a dentist. This is all. These guys, they went to her, oh, I have some problems here, and then she said, oh, need to pull your teeth, guys. Ulrich was saying, awesome, but I'm afraid. And this is how this bass solo thing goes on. Whiplash, I have no clue what this means. Maybe they are fans from these Tony guys. Maybe, I don't know. More interesting is, what do we have next here? Oh yeah, the Phantom Lord. Great song, by the way. This is about Lars Ulrich, or a guy he knows. There was a fan who was in the rehearsals, and Ulrich only had a bass drum, some cymbals and a snare drum. That's it. Nothing at all. He thought it's awesome, but it was not cool because the rolls were missing. And then there was this fan, his last name was Lord. I think his name was Harvey Lord or something like that. And he brought a tom to Lars Ulrich. And this and Hetfield was saying, hey, that's a real fan tom, because the tom came from a fan. Not a fan, a fan. You know what I mean. I need a little coffee. What's that saying? Oh, that tastes fine. Yeah, and since then, this is the Phantom Lord, and you can hear on the album that he has several toms. Then, so, No Remorse. That's really interesting. It's not about about a Greek label. It could be, but it isn't, because this is way too early. But they were talking in the rehearsal room about Deep Purple, and that they might do a reunion the next year, in 1984, with Perfect Strangers. It did happen, you remember that. And Lars Ulrich, who thought that this is awesome, said, hey, I don't think Blackmore will stay really long. And then they thought, okay, who could replace him? Let's say a few years later, in the early 90s. And then he said, there's this one guy called Steve Morse. He's really good, and he would really fit into Deep Purple. He's awesome. He's awesome. And, yeah, Hetfield says, when he's quitting a little later and he wants to come back. And then Ulrich says, oh no, there's no remorse. Means to re-entry the band. That's all. That's just a futuristic view on one of their favorite bands. And that's pretty cool. Seek and Destroy is simply misspelled by the record company. This song is simply called Siegfried and Roy, because Hetfield and Ulrich were in Las Vegas. Ulrich thought it was awesome in Las Vegas, and they saw this gay tiger show and they liked it so much, and then they saw Siegfried and Roy, and they loved that so much that they made a song out of it, searching for Siegfried and Roy. And later on they noticed, it could sound gay, it's not good to get girls to have a song about Siegfried and Roy. And so they named it, or the record company named it, Seek and Destroy, which make absolutely no sense. Yeah, Metal Militia, I have no clue what it is. I think both still play with toy soldiers, little toy soldiers, because I think Ulrich said it's awesome to play with toy soldiers, and he had these plastic ones which he brought from Denmark, and Hetfield said, oh, you don't use these plastic things, you need a Metal Militia. Yeah, and that's how this title comes from. Yeah, that's all you need to know about Kill 'Em All. You know, here's the inner sleeve. It's the original pressing from Great Britain. Music for Nations, unplayed by the way. I have my Roadrunner pressing, looks like shit, because the Roadrunner walked over it all the time. No, this is really unplayed. It's unbelievable because I got both and I didn't use this ever. And so here is an original unplayed Kill 'Em All. And now, before I end up here, a last tip for you, everybody of you. There is a Japanese pressing of Kill 'Em All available, and you need to listen to that because it was hard for James Hetfield to learn the Japanese language just for this album. And there are so many cool songs, totally different. Phantom Lord is great, or No Remorse. You need to listen to No Remorse. It's absolutely great. And he did a good job singing in Japanese. And the band Loudness thought it's awesome. Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something. I don't know what comes next, but I hope you had some fun and I have some fucking coffee.